Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets every Tuesday night. Last week, the players have finally finished their long and strenuous battle against the terrifying multi-attack zombies that could only be killed by radiant or fire damage, and otherwise could absorb an unlimited amount of punishment, and including two of their friends who fell and became zombies. The party was able to knock down both Yukikaze zombies, Yukikaze, and Zebel. They used Revivify to bring back Jebel, and then gathered up Yuki's body and returned into the city, where they found at the end of the half-mile-long bridge that the gates had been opened and that soldiers were being treated to in sort of a frenzied chaos by several clerics from the temples here for their injuries and trauma. The group worked its way through here and up to the Temple of Pelor in the Brilliant Plaza, and were preparing to ask the cleric here to cast Resurrection or Raise Dead, perhaps, on Yukikaze, when I was reminded that they were supposed to be awarded XP for their big long fight, and they all hit 17th level. So, congratulations to all the players for hitting 17th level last time, and some of the players have gained access to more powerful healing spells, including Wish for our wizard and sorcerer. Yuki has been spending the time observing his group from the Shadowfell with the help of the Raven Queen, who has shown an unusual level of interest in the group's activities, and those activities' effect on her realm in the Shadowfell. And so we pick it up here in the Temple of Pelor, just after everybody has dinged. And we will begin as Cyrus has made a special request. So, if you want to roleplay that with the party at all, just tell us what you're doing.
Do you guys think... Are you guys fairly certain that you'll be able to get them to resurrect Yukikaze?
I mean, we have the funding for the material components, and we are fairly certain that we can get them to get the crown to get the use of it. Worst case scenario, we wait until tomorrow, and I cast Wish.
Alright, then I'm going to head back down to the base, because I think there's one more thing I can do to help with the wounded. And I will take off fast as my little legs can carry me.
What are you doing?
Making extra clerics.
Make more clerics. Make more clerics. Make more clerics.
I don't know what he means by that.
Alright. This is...
Oh, whatever.
This is fine for now. We'll have a talk about any more nuances to this spell that should be thought about, because it is raising some questions in my mind that I want to work out with you between games, Derek.
Okay.
Not bad, I don't think, but I just need to get a handle on how it should all function going forward, so that we know what our options are available and why.
Yep.
Alright, so... in the absence of anybody running out and grabbing him, I believe Cyrus is going to make his way out of the temple. Very well. Cyrus, you make your way back down to the gate plaza, where there is still this chaos of soldiers, bleeding and crying out, and clerics doing their best with the magic at their disposal. They're, looking for bandages, they're taking water breaks, whatever they can do to conserve magic and use it for the ones that need it most.
Yep. I'll probably try and go to, like, one of the ones on break and just try to explain myself quickly.
Okay. You do so. It takes him a moment to kind of understand what you're getting at, but he ultimately understands that you're trying to help, and that you're looking for clerics who still have a good number of spell slots left, and so he's going to help with that. And within about 10 minutes of just going to different clerics and having a short discussion with them, you're able to find two that seem to have half, maybe one or two more than half of their spells left. And they seem to be doing best. Yeah, no, everybody else is, like, tapping. Like, they're all dropping pretty low at this point.
Yep. Alright. If you two will stand still for a second, I can make duplicates of you that can help heal others.
They kind of nod, a little uncertain about things. One of them, a cleric of Arathis, she kind of, like, raises a hand and says, what happens when the duplicate is out of magic?
It can't get any back.
Do I have to take care of it?
You could shove it off a cliff. It's not thinking, it's just magic.
It's not a person.
I feel like there's a longer, like, philosophical conversation about simulacrum there that is probably worth having.
She looks a little perturbed.
It doesn't need food or anything, as far as I'm aware. But this is the best thing I could think of to help.
Okay. Great. Sure, let's do this.
I'll, like, just ask for a hand from each of them, because it's range of touch.
Sure, both of them kind of, like, they look at each other, and they like, raise their hands up and look down at their hands. They look up at you, back at each other, and they kind of, like, slowly reach their hand out toward you, palm up.
I will touch them and cast Wish to duplicate Simulacrum and twin it.
Okay.
For the ridiculous cost of a 9th level spell slot and 9 points. I barely had 9.
I'm surprised you still had 9 after the fight. In any event, yes, there is a flash of magic as this spell that you've certainly never cast before creates these exact duplicates of the clerics before you, down to their clothing. The only difference upon immediate inspection is that they seem to have a rather vacant stare to them. They're not really looking around and seeming aware. They're just sort of staring straight ahead, a bit golem-like.
Yeah. And I will...
Simulacrum has no equipment, so I don't believe it actually has clothing. It appears to be the same as the original, but it has half the creature's hit point maximum and is formed without any equipment.
Clothing's not equipment. Clothing's clothing.
Equipment. Both of these clerics, upon seeing their naked duplicates, are gonna, oh my! And they're going to, like, very quickly pull the tabards off as they have clothing under those and throw it over their duplicates.
Oh,
one of them just, oh my! The other one, oh my.
Oh, sorry. First time doing this one.
Yeah,
I swear this never happens.
The dwarf there, just kind of like, for a moment before realizing, oh right, indecent. The cleric of Arath is beat red.
And I'll just tell each of the duplicates to follow the orders of the person they are a duplicate of.
Both of the duplicates just, like, slowly bob their head in a nod once, and then turn toward their irrespective clerics, looking at the opposites. And the two clerics kind of shrug, and, the cleric of Arathis points to a nearby soldier who's holding this gushing wound on his arm, with like these, he's got linens wrapped around it, but the bleeding hasn't stopped. And she says, cast second level cure wounds on him. And the dwarf just like nods his head once, goes forward, and goes over to touch the man, casting cure wounds. Says, okay, alright, I think we understand how this works. Thank you.
Sorry for the, oddities. I was trying to hurry before more spells were spent.
Your contribution is greatly appreciated. You actually did go to the Temple of Arathis, didn't you?
Yep, when I went looking for...
You know this woman, she's met you.
Yeah, in fact, she in fact tried to convert me after seeing my notes for commune.
Mm-hmm. She's still, like, blushed a bit from the earlier unexpectedness. But she says, you're certainly doing a lot for the city, for somebody who doesn't wish to follow Arathis.
Look, I'm just trying to help people in need, but I do appreciate the sentiment.
They don't wish to be distracted for too long, so they are going to just go back to what they're doing.
Yeah, and I would probably just head back towards the temple and proof somewhere along the way.
Yeah, somewhere along the way, an arm reaches out from an alleyway and pulls you into the darkness.
Oh, fun. That's terrifying.
No, it's never oh wait, no, it's always terrifying, it's true. Alright. Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you, Derek.
Sorry to cast and run, but see you guys next week.
Bye.
Alright.
Alright. Yukikaze. At the end of the last session, you had offered to the Raven Queen, who was watching the goings-on of the party with you, patiently waiting for your resurrection, that you would help out in some way during your time there. And she said, alright then. If that is your wish, I will take you to the palace. And you found that between heartbeats, everything around you changes. The city of Everwatch and your friends vanish. And you find yourself in the middle of this atrium at the conjoining of 4 hallways. This wide open, hollow, empty, cold-feeling space as you look up as the ceiling vaults away to seemingly infinity. And around you, you can see hordes of creatures very similar to the elf, the Shadarkai, that you fought earlier, moving about, carrying pages of text or full volumes, some escorting these glowing motes of light, some walking with people who look not unlike yourself, like adventurers or common folk, through the place. There is a traffic to it. And the Raven Queen says, if you wish to make yourself useful in the limited time you'll be here, there are archives that I would have your aid in arranging.
You have books here. Are they like the chronicles of the individuals who have passed?
Just so, she says. Her mask is impassive, but you can feel this warmer tone in her voice, as though it conceals a smile. As she says, just so. Many of the memories and lives of those that pass through here are collected here.
Not surprised, that's very interesting.
It is important that one's deeds and ambitions are not forgotten, even after one has passed out of the cycle of life and death. She gestures and says, as you can see, I told you true earlier. There are Shadarkai in my employ. And she will, like, with a gentle hand against your back, direct you to a tall doorway, and pushing it open, you find a tiered library, where pages are literally drifting down like leaves from the ceiling, and you see groups of people working amongst them, catching them out of the air and moving them to different sections of the place. There's probably 50 people in total in here, scattered throughout this large space. It says, you can assist in here. The stories of lives, she says, capturing one out of the air. They are created when people fall and enter this place forever. And she, like, proffers this page to you. And looking at it, it's covered in symbols that you don't recognize at first, but as you look upon it, you see them sort of morph and meld into words that you can make out. And you are reading just a moment from the life in a person, describes how this tiefling had been living in this town, and they found this stray dog, starving out in the wild, and it's just this strange little kind of nice story about this good deed that a person did and got a companion out of it. And it's at first meaningless to you, but as you look upon it and she continues to explain the way the place works, you suddenly feel this connection to it on a spiritual level, and you find that you just know where this belongs, and you find that almost without telling your legs to move, you begin marching across the room and laying the page down on a stack, and looking at other pages in the stack, you find that they are about the same person. And as you turn back, kind of surprised by your own actions, you see that the Raven Queen dips her head acknowledgingly and says, "The work comes naturally. I will fetch you when it is time."
Okay. I'm glad I could help. Thank you very much.
She passes back out of the tall doors, and you spend some time doing this. It's hard to know how much, as you gather page after page, and they just sort of fall into place, and you're seeing these snapshots of people's lives, flashes, moments in the grand journey prior to their death, and you don't know these people. And each page you pick up is for someone else in some other part of the world. Some places you know, some places you'd never heard of, some you'd heard of but never visited. But you just catch these moments, a conversation, a moment of feelings of unrequited love, a flash of anger over a slight, just captured in these pages, almost like a journal or encyclopedia of this person, of these people. So an indeterminate amount of time passes as you do this, but you feel like you've placed a number of pages. When suddenly you feel a grip on your arm, and you're dragged back out of this flash that you were reading through at the time. And you find yourself in this library again, and you look down, and there is a scaled hand wrapped around your elbow. And you notice finally that the person is saying, "Hey, Yukikaze!" And as you turn toward this other Dragonborn, you recognize Shigeki Arikuru, one of the people who escorted you across the desert.
That's... Oh! Hey there.
What are you doing here?
No.
Don't tell me you fell to the worm too.
fell to something else. I am only temporarily here.
A terrible fate. But if you are here, and so is your father, then who is leading the clans?
So it's a good question. I don't remember asking my dad if, who was, taking care of things with the remaining members of the tribe.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm stating. So it's like, I don't know who's in charge at the moment. I know that.
You saw your father.
Yes. Had my adventure has been very hard, and I've touched my toe into this realm more than once. Didn't want to, but have.
He seems to, he nods with this kind of knowing expression on his face. He says, well, I hope you can find your way back. We are waiting for you.
Yes, I'm trying to take care of the worms and find a solution to bringing you guys back.
Well, I would say it's good to see you, but given the circumstances,
yeah,
it's good to see you.
I agree.
You know, that bastard Toshi, he managed to escape. I haven't seen him here at all. I think he's still alive.
Do you want me to tell him if I see him?
Oh, definitely. Kick him, too.
I will.
What do you think of these pages? He says, holding up one of the soft vellum leaves. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Seeing into the lives of others. Wondering if maybe you didn't live yours as well as you should have.
We can only do the best we can in our lives and just make as many happy memories as we can while we're alive.
I suppose that's good advice. Which is why I'm hoping you get me back there so I can do that.
I hope I can too, and that you can make more cherished memories and live till when you're supposed to.
That is why I chose to stay here. Ryosaki, your father, convinced several of us that it was not yet time. Because of what you are doing and the people that you have fallen in with, you might be able to get us back out.
Yep, I want to try to do that. I'm going to do everything in my power to do so. But if I can't, I will definitely find a way to contact everyone, and because I do find it a little bit, I find it I'm sorry, I'm not sure how I want to put this in words. It's
Sad.
it's a little comforting knowing that the Raven Queen is here and can take us to Bahamut with our loved ones at the end, that there is a place at the end for us.
He nods along, seeming to agree with your words. Says, I had not thought much of the Raven Queen. Obviously, death is inevitable. But it is good meeting her and seeing what it is like. knowing that there is someone up here who cares. Even for the least of us.
It's also nice that our memories and everything remain.
I don't know what memories you take with you when you go past this place. He says, like, kind of swinging his head in the direction vaguely that the Raven Queen had left in. But yes, it is comforting that someone at least is taking care of these truths of our lives. I don't know what she does with them. Sometimes she comes in and spends a little time leafing through, reading. Sometimes I hear her chuckle, laugh. I did not know gods could do that. Honestly, beyond Bahamut, I did not think much of the gods at all.
Feel that anything with a consciousness has a personality and has joys, interests, and some form of drive. So I'm not. That's very. It's interesting, but I can see that.
You were always the deeper thinker, Yukikaze. Me and Toshi, we just hit things. We're good at it, though.
That and drinking too, right?
No one better.
I hope to. I can't wait to drink with you in the future.
Don't pour one out for me yet. Give it to me when you res me.
Yes, definitely. Actually, I'm thinking to myself for a little bit. Can you? By the way, have you been working in here for much and assisting with this?
I have no idea how long it's been, but I've been in here since I arrived. Since Yuzaki, since your father convinced the Raven Queen to let us stay, in hopes that you and your friends would be able to bring us back.
You know, if like you think of a subject or some kind of information, can you draw yourself to it here?
I've never tried. I just find that I catch the page, and after a moment I know where it belongs. What kind of information are you thinking to find?
Well,
perhaps I already know where it is.
As long as it doesn't bother the Raven. It's thinking like how our conversation is with bringing you guys back. If there was any kind of magic or influence that there's something that could bring you guys back, knowledge here of someone's past life, or even knowledge of current situation, worms.
Well, there's spells, magic, you know, your clan is, flush with this knowledge. Yuzaki was the leader because of his, knowledge of these magics that let him navigate the desert.
Yes, that is true. But when growing up and stuff, I don't know of any kind of magics that heavily influence either the two subjects I just mentioned.
I guess.
Because you remember, I wasn't strong in the magic field. It wasn't.
No.
I wasn't very adept, unfortunately.
Perhaps you should have been born Arekuru. I think I do know something that can help. I was just putting pages over here. There was this woman she passed through. She was a powerful priestess. She brought many people back to life. Here, over here. And he kind of walks through the falling snow of these vellum pages to a pile, and he kind of pats it a couple times and says, "Yes, Lisbeth. That's her. I have read several pages about times where she healed the sick and brought back the dead. If this is the knowledge you seek."
As long as it's not necromancy. Well, let's give it a gaze.
All right, you give it a gaze. As you, he hands you a couple pages. He thumbs through, says, "Here's one," and you find the description of her casting this spell to bring back a child who had been trampled by some of their farm animals there. And you are very quickly aware that this spell that she's casting is necromancy. As she casts Revivify on the child.
Well, wait, Revivify is a necromancy spell?
And, looking up and asking this incredulously towards Shigeki, he kind of shrugs his shoulders and says, "Anything that calls back the dead is necromancy. That's what it means, to speak to the dead."
That's true. I was thinking more of oh man, because I guess it could have some good intention spells. I'm just worried about the ones that are like zombies, unnatural living.
She's not making a zombie. She brought the child back. It was not yet time for her to die.
I know for actually, I'm trying to. When I'm thinking, do I have knowledge saying that do I know of spells Oh, that's right, because it needs the body. The spell that's being used on me needs a body to bring back me.
The spirit.
Yeah, so I gotta think of one that can possibly do it without a body. I think that's what I'm thinking to myself, Tristan. So I would have knowledge of the spell that's going to be used on me coming up, right? That's something my character would know in the world.
Because you know that the party is... Because you heard them, you know that they're taking you to a cleric to have a resurrection spell cast on you. You know that because you're outside of the time limit for Revivify, it's either going to be Raise Dead or Resurrection.
And then those both will work, but they need the person's corporeal body.
Yeah, as you read more through this story of this woman, Lisbeth's life, you come to have a better understanding of the spells that she's using, and you see that all of the necromancy spells that she's using, they always require at least a portion of the deceased person to work.
Damn. Okay.
You will read this learning about resurrection spells, so you will have more knowledge and good deep knowledge on it to go off of, because you're basically reading an account of a cleric, a master of this craft. So anytime resurrection spells come up in the future, you have knowledge that you can tap into.
So this is also timeless space almost, so
it feels that way.
Yeah. So yeah. But I'll be poking around and stuff and sorting pages, because I want to make sure I do some work. I don't want to just poke around and be like,
you poke around through stacks and you learn little flashes of different people's lives, and every time you go to move to another stack, some page drifts towards you, and just as a reaction, you reach out and catch it, and then you're immediately drawn to place it in its right place. So you're never aloof. You're always getting work done.
Okay, that's good.
You don't have to worry about becoming too distracted and not getting anything done.
I have the Raven walk in like, what the heck you doing, bro?
So I'm going to flash back to the party, I think, if you're good.
I'm good.
Okay. Party, Cyrus has just run off. You are standing in the middle of the Temple of Pelor, in the Brilliant Plaza, and you see the High Priest here, and the Dwarven Acolyte, who I know at least some of you have met before. It seems as though they have recently ended a vigil of some kind, as people are exiting back out into the Brilliant Plaza as you carry this body in. And the human from the other side of the altar greets you and says, "Welcome to the Temple of Pelor, adventurers. How can we help you today? Is there light that we can bring to your lives?"
Our companion here fell in the battle to defend the city just now. We need a resurrection spell.
Of course. And he's going to rush forward. I just need to quickly pull up. Yeah, that's probably the next level up.
Ray's dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that there's a 4th level one. I think the 4th level one is to make them into zombies. Just not what we want.
Okay.
No. Raiken is Ray's dead, but he has to rest to get it.
Yeah, 5th level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's going to come forward and ask for you to lay the body down, and he's going to signal to the acolyte, who comes forward and stands slightly behind him. As he leans toward him and murmurs something to him, the dwarf is going to nod and move off through a panel to the left, and he's going to return in a few minutes with a couple more acolytes in robes of Pelor. As the human smiles at you and says, "Yes, we shall prepare the ritual. It will take some time, and there is a cost that I am certain you are prepared to pay."
Of course, Larry.
For the what's the word? Reagent? Yes, reagent is the word I'm looking for. For the reagent, you can cast the spell using this. I pull out my bag of residuum.
He's going to...
if you channel the magic through the bag, it will use up however much is necessary for the spell, leaving the remainder. But it will serve the purpose of the diamond.
He is going to hold out his hand for you to place the bag in it as you explain this.
I do.
And he's going to, while watching your reaction, he's going to undo the knot at the top and open the bag and allow the sunlight from the open roof to shine upon its contents, where he will kind of shield his eyes a little bit with his other hand, probably, kind of like blinking away and then looking back through his fingers. Says, "Well, I have never seen anything like this. It's not diamond dust?"
No, it's a material called residuum. I imagine we can have a much longer interesting conversation about it, probably at a safer time for the city. The Mages Guild is also working on what they can around it.
Very well. We will use this. He's going to signal to the nearest acolyte, and he's going to like hold up his hand as though he's holding maybe an apple or something, and then he's going to just wave his fingers under his chin. And the acolyte, who you see is like taking the cloth wrap off of this large gleaming diamond, sees this and goes, "Oh," and covers it back up and like walks away with it. Very good. In that case, such a ritual will only cost you 1,000 gold pieces, or 100 platinum.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a 5th level spell.
A great deal of refining one's worth in the eyes of the god of the sun is required to command such power, as I'm sure you're aware. As long as you can provide, then we are ready when you are.
Is an ingot 100?
An ingot is 50.
Ingot is 50.
Yeah,
well, I have an ingot. Somebody is able to do the rest.
You see
were we not going to discuss with your sister about anything, or should that be discussions later after for shall we pay them now and then get reimbursement from your sister? I say it, Vendar.
We could do that.
I gave you 2 options.
How like is there a time limit on this spell? What's the time limit?
10 days.
Oh, well, 10 days? Well, maybe we can just wait till tomorrow.
Poor Yukikaze.
We can go talk to my sister about getting a payment for you.
You're saying this as like the acolyte who had disappeared away with the diamond has come back and is, reaching out to take the ingot from Raiken's hands. And he like kind of stops as you say this, like looking over, like, "Oh, am I not taking this payment now?"
This poor acolyte.
I mean, it's up to you guys. You think we should do this right now? I can cover the other 50 if you do.
If
I mean,
money is a problem, I have a question. Perhaps you can ask, wizard. Answer, wizard. And as he's you can see that he's looking again into the bag of residuum and like raising and lowering his hand as though testing its weight. Does this only work for resurrection spells? Does it only replace the diamond, or is its power greater than that?
It is able to function in the place of any costly reagent.
Any.
Yes.
Then, if you would portion me out some of this, I would accept that. In place of he twiddles his fingers at the acolyte in front of Raiken, who nods, takes the ingot from Raiken, and heads off in the same direction as he did with the diamond. In place of the other 50 platinum.
What the hell?
And he is looking into your eyes, Laramendus, like, do we have a deal?
I mean, I also have an ingot to throw in, if we're just paying now and getting reimbursed later. If we're waiting until we can have a discussion with your sister tomorrow anyway, then I can just cast Wish tomorrow and bring him back.
I could also just use Raise Dead tomorrow.
That is the thing. Is it worth the 100 platinum to get him back now if we could just wait till tomorrow and do it ourselves?
It is lucky for you that the dead cannot hear the goings-on in the living world.
It depends.
I think he'd understand. Not the first time he's been dead.
It is the longest, though.
Raiken, just so that you're aware, Raiken's ingot is gone.
As you feel a cold breeze at the back of your neck.
Can we figure this out? Because if we're not doing it now, I want my ingot back.
Laramentus is looking mostly at Vendar. The question was about how we were dealing with things via his sister.
I say do it now and ask for reimbursement.
Hey, sure, we'll do it now and ask for reimbursement. I can cover the other 50 plat, or player can use his ingot. I don't really care. We can talk to my sister after Yukikaze is back.
I'll pull out an ingot then.
He's going to look down at
Be a
the
little
ingot,
sad.
look back into your face for a moment. You're going to see his eyes look at the residuum again. He's going to... And, just this quick little sigh, and he's going to reach out and take the ingot from your hand. And he turns and heads back over to where his acolytes have prepared Yuki's body, and you just see him, hand off the ingot to one of them. And then he instructs his acolytes around the body. He sets the leather pouch of residuum on the floor before him, and he begins praying and chanting in Celestial and emoting. This spell takes 1 hour to cast. It neutralizes poisons, cures non-magical diseases that affect the creature at the time it died. It doesn't remove magical diseases, curses, or similar effects. If these aren't first removed prior to casting the spell, they take effect when the creature returns to life. The spell can't return an undead creature to life. The spell closes all mortal wounds, but doesn't restore missing body parts. If the creature is lacking body parts or organs integral for its survival, its head for instance, the spell automatically fails. Coming back from the dead is an ordeal. The target takes a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. Every time the target finishes a long rest, the penalty is reduced by 1 until it disappears. Okay. And so, he begins casting, and all of you sit and wait for an hour as they do this.
While we're waiting, Laramitus does want to speak to the priest, not the one casting the spell, because don't interrupt that. But
One of the acolytes.
Sure.
Because the high priest is the one casting.
Okay, that would make sense. This is probably best for the high priest, so he'll wait.
Oh, okay.
Because basically he wants to discuss about the what he knows about how the zombies were affecting the body and the possibility of a quarantine and that kind of stuff. And so talking to the person who has the most power is probably the best thing for that.
Okay. Then, yeah, if you wish to have that discussion with the High Priest, you will have to wait for the spell to complete.
Yeah.
So, Yukikaze, after you have been experiencing these bits of these random people's lives as you organize them into these stacks around this vast library, working elbow to elbow with your former Arikuru comrade Shigeki, and these 50 other people whom you've never seen before, some of whom are Shatterkai. The door is going to swing open, and you're going to feel this rush of air across you, but you notice none of the stacks of paper flutter at all, as the Raven Queen stands framed in the doorway, looking directly at you, as she calls out in her soft voice, "It is time, Yukikaze. Are you willing to return to the world of the living?"
Yes.
"Then I cannot hold you here." And she will hold out a long, bony hand towards you and say, "Come with me."
Take her hand and go.
You cross the room, setting down your last sheet of vellum, and reach out to take her hand. And as you do so, you find that instantly, the moment your scales make contact with her skin, the library vanishes, and you are standing in the Temple of Pelor, watching this the besparked shadows of this human and his acolytes as they chant and pray over your body. You can see the brilliant flame of magic that glows between him and your body, that you can see is the sack of residuum, and you can see the somewhat bored-looking silhouettes of your friends seated on the pews and such around this auditorium. As the Raven Queen stands with you, she says, "I will ever guide you and your brethren to where you belong when the time is right. I ask only that you not fear death, for it is the natural end, and you are not alone."
Thank you. I will always strive to live as long as I can, as best I can. But when my time is ready, I'll be ready for it. But I'm not going to give up without a fight.
Just make sure that your longevity is natural.
I will.
She will lead you by the hand until you are standing once again, clipped into the silhouette of your body, and she will help you to lie yourself down into your own silhouette. She says, you hear as this ringing builds in your ears, making her words more and more difficult to understand, but you hear her say, "There will be some discomfort." And suddenly, color bleeds back into everything, and the Raven Queen fades away. You open your eyes, blinking a few times, and the bright sun of afternoon shining down upon you, you can feel the solid, flat stones of the floor of this temple under your back. And there is just great discomfort throughout your body.
I will feel happy, though, because that means I'm alive.
Yes.
I feel the pain, and I'm like, oh, this sucks, but thank God. I'm just gonna sit there and lay there though. Like, what are they doing? Are they done?
Let me just double check. I think you come back at 1 HP.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
he does.
so you're at 1 HP.
Don't worry, Raiken has some to give you.
So I'm really fucking tired then. I am.
Yeah, because you're also suffering a -4 penalty to attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks until you complete a long rest, and then it will be a -3 until you complete a long rest, and then it will be -2, and it just each time you take a long rest, it will reduce.
I have to slowly recover.
Yeah.
I'm not instantly recovered. Okay.
It's gonna take a long time.
So I'm gonna feel like shit for a few days. Several days. But I'm alive.
Let's just see him waking up, but they will get up on their feet, having been sitting down, just
Wait, is everyone in the room?
doing nothing.
Those.
Are we not?
Yeah, everybody's here.
Okay.
I don't think anybody left during the ritual. The only person not here is Cyrus.
Yeah.
Oh.
She will look over at Yukikaze and go, "Hi. Welcome back to the living."
Glad to be back. How long was I gone?
It's been insert amount of time here.
No, almost
2 hours.
Almost 2 hours, yeah.
Well, thank you for.
Like 2 hours to get him up here.
It took an hour for the spell.
Took an hour for the spell, and it took you about 4 minutes. Sorry,
Like
so
an hour.
yeah, Yuki. Sorry.
So thank you for getting me up promptly. It felt a little bit longer where I was.
I would love to have a discussion with you about that later.
I'm sure you do, Lermans. But right now, I want to rest. I feel like crap.
Do you still feel like you are under the effects of the magic from the undead?
I honestly want to say I have no freaking idea because my body's heavy. I'm hurting all over.
Knees weak, arms heavy.
Yeah. I am not doing like I'm happy to be alive. I feel good. I'm alive, but I'm hurting right now. And I don't know if I would even feel something because the spell was in effect after I was dead. So I don't know if there was a feeling tied to the spell's effect. Is my best answer for you.
I mean, as the creatures attacked, their magic seeped into things. Do you still feel... Raiken feels uncomfortable because of this.
I feel more uncomfortable.
Oh.
Do you? Mechanically, is he still under the effect of whatever the failed con save was?
So I will ponder that for a second and give that a thought. What do you say, Tristan? Do I still kind of feel that seeping feeling?
I did send you a direct message.
So how I feel, Blair Menace, I want to feel I am still, even with my pain, like I've fought in hard battles before and have been taken low, or like I've suffered quite a bit of damage. I still feel I'm not at full strength. I want to say I feel like it's still in effect.
That is good to be aware of. To the high priest, I'll say we have some insight into the damage that the zombies were able to do to people, and one of the reasons why the fighting was as arduous as it was that I think are relevant for the safety of the city.
Well then, tell me.
The zombies were able to spread their magical affliction as they wounded people, it became more and more difficult to resist the magic from seeping in. And it seems that at least that might be contributing to the people who died via the zombies turning into them.
Wait. Does that mean if I die again, I'm going to turn into a zombie again?
If you are still feeling under the powers of the magic, then my belief is that yes.
Oh. Oh boy.
So...
Don't die again.
Don't die.
Well, but we also have to be concerned about the large number of people who are now in the city who have been wounded by these zombies to prevent an outbreak from happening here.
I think the best solution for that would be to go find the necromancer who casts the spell and kill them.
I mean, we are not certain that that would end the effect.
Well, we could capture them first and interrogate them and then kill them.
You capture someone?
Very kind.
Hey, I have these blunted arrows that I got so long ago that I've used like once.
Forgot that you had those. I think that I mean I cannot say anything for what needs to be done, but my recommendation would be some kind of quarantine on the people who came back wounded, and anything that can be done to prevent any of them from falling, which is certainly what is already being done, but it could be disastrous. And now that Yukikaze is still under the effects after the Raise Dead spell, we know that it is magical in nature, where we have confirmed that it is magical in nature, and that will probably help limit the types of spells that would be necessary to cast to cure people. But I thought we should be aware.
Just dispel it?
It is possible we could attempt to dispel it. It is possible we could attempt to remove curse. There's lesser restoration, greater restoration. I'm sure that there are other spells that Sam is not thinking of at the moment, but Larmenda would probably say a wish would hopefully do it, and possibly be able to do it for a larger number of people. Although that would be outside of the realm of using it to mimic a spell and therefore incur what's the word I'm looking for?
I was answering another player's questions.
Recoil, not recoil. Not drawback. Something along those lines.
Side effects.
Yeah, essentially side effects. I will remember what word I'm trying to think of.
I apologize.
Later. Maybe repercussions. So it is inherently more dangerous, although Cyrus did bring up the idea with going and using simulacrum on clerics, which sounds like what he did. Could be done on somebody that can cast Wish, and therefore the simulacrum could fail and it wouldn't matter. There are different things that might be able to be done that way to help purge larger groups of people. But again, that is a very time-consuming process and would necessitate the use of very high-level casters who would be unable to leave this city if, for example, Cyrus and I were to assist in that effort. We would not be able to go and help hunt down the necromancer.
It sounds like the temples of the lower city are quite busy, and are probably burning through their spells for the day.
So while this is happening, I'm going to step towards Larmendus.
I am stepped towards.
Get his attention. Could I borrow the Residuum, please?
Out of character, I think that you have your own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
All the spellcasters have their own.
Yeah.
When does that?
It happened before the battle. They divvied it up into bags and distributed it to all the spellcasters.
Yeah.
And while they were in the Vendar's sister's place.
I do not know what number you have, because I have used some since we split it up.
Somebody wrote down the numbers. It was either Alex or it was Thomas.
I mean, I wrote down my number. My number is like, currently I have like 56,000. I haven't used that much.
Oh, I do have this written down. I have 56,440 written down.
Okay.
Okay. Then that is how much residuum you have?
That sounds right.
I think I've used one time, because I think I had 440.
Because you split up something like 239,000 5 ways.
Okay, I currently have just shy of 49,000.
Yeah, I forgot that because that was like, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so I'm standing in the back, and I am casting Greater Restoration on myself.
I can check my notes for what I said works on this.
I was going to try something too that I know 99.9% certain is going to fail.
I was like, I'm going to try anyways, though, because I want to get this shit off me.
However, mine doesn't cost anything other than one use of it.
Alright, so you're casting Greater Restoration. Where's my zombies? Zombies, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. This thing. Okay, that's how it works. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So, you cast Greater Restoration on yourself.
I do.
And you feel this weakness, this tiredness abate. You feel like the magical poison, as it were, leaves your system. So,
alright, Raiken's turn.
you guys see as he casts the spell in the middle of the temple in front of everybody. The priest kind of like, of course. Why should they pay for us to do it?
Is that like bringing your own food to a restaurant? Right?
I mean, it is not unlike that. So, Raiken, are you now casting Greater Restoration on yourself?
Oh, no, I don't have Greater Restoration. Raiken is going to do something that like I said, I'm like 100% sure is going to fail because it doesn't even say anything about disease.
Okay.
But he's going to use Cleansing Touch.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And it does nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does nothing.
It's alright. It's magical. It's not necessarily a disease.
Where is?
It's not necessarily not. We don't know what it is.
It's true.
I have 3 uses of it, so I might as well try.
Yeah.
Isn't Dispel Magic a much cheaper spell than Greater Restoration?
It is.
Is a 3rd level spell less expensive than a 5th level spell? Ridiculous.
And also, it doesn't have a component cost.
Well,
you should maybe try to see if that works before saying you got to do Greater Restoration.
So, after he used Cleansing Touch and, like, feels like nothing happened, he is then going to touch Yukikaze and give him the last 15 points of his Lay on Hands so that he doesn't die from somebody just breathing on him.
I figured you were going to use the 5 points of Lay on Hands to see if it could cure the thing.
Oh, that's a good idea. Alright, he'll give him 5 points just to see if it works.
Okay, so you use the 5-point Lay on Hands on Yukikaze?
He's gonna try it on himself first.
Okay. You don't feel any better.
Nope, didn't work. So then he's going to just use the last 10 points and just heal Yukikaze's HP instead of trying to cure anything.
Okay, Yukikaze, you now have 11 HP as the Paladin of Cord touches you with his glowing hands.
And he's going to say
slightly less shitty.
He's going to say cleansing touch and lay on hands does not fix this.
Thank you, Raiken.
Am I aware of what Jebel had done, like what spell he cast?
Yes. I'm gonna say yes, just because you guys have been traveling together for a long time, so you can now, and you've seen him use that one specifically a couple of times, so I'm gonna say yes.
Cool.
Let me clarify, feeling better versus actually being better?
So I guess
you're better.
Are you still under the effects? Okay, but I guess in character, are you still under the effects after your greater restoration?
I don't think so. I feel much better.
Excellent. So at least we know that works. Although if that's the lowest one that will work, that puts it out of the price range of most people. If only for the material cost. I do not have any third level spells with which to attempt to dispel magic until I can sit down and rest up and study for a little bit, mechanically using an arcane recovery rather, to get some spell slots back, because I haven't used that today.
As long as nothing happens to me, you can always try it on me tomorrow.
Well, I can attempt to dispel magic later today. My largest concern is not for us, it's for... Or, well, not immediately. It's for anyone who's on the verge of death, just having entered the city.
I can dispel magic too.
I also can dispel magic.
I will say...
cast one at third level right now.
I can cast a 4th or 5th level.
I want to try the lowest level first.
Well,
I can only cast 5th.
I've used all my 3rd levels.
If we once we can go and sit down for an hour, I can get back 3rd level spells.
I will say that I felt progressively worse over time, so this seems to be something with a bit of a ticking clock.
That is extremely unfortunate.
Yes, as I said, I feel worse.
I say we prioritize then resting for an hour and getting this tested and fixed ASAP. We'll have to put on hold going anywhere else.
Again, my concern was for the safety of the city in regards to this. We can handle ourselves. But that is all the information that I turn to the High Priest. That is all the information that I believe that we are aware of, and how this has progressed in the people who have succumbed to it.
He nods at you and says, I will inform the Crown next I am in their audience. Sounds like perhaps you should be giving this information to the clerics who are at risk in the Gate Plaza.
We had spoken with one of the clerics there. I don't particularly know their name. Would you be able to point me at tell me who is the highest ranking person I should speak to down there, that the information can be where it needs to be? I don't know if whoever we spoke to had the time to properly disseminate things or the power to make the decisions.
There are several representatives of several temples down there, but if you're looking to find one that I think will be useful to you, the person I would deal with. You should either seek out, depending on their availability, Issa Faril, who is a tiefling cleric of Cord. She's very reliable. Or my personal preference. Where are you?
And I'm so sorry.
There she is. Him. Tarim Lanier, who is a dwarf cleric of Ione. When I need things in the lower city to get done, they are who I speak to.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you for the spell for Yukikaze, and I will try to be back tomorrow so that we can have a less pressing discussion about the residuum.
May Pelor light your way.
Did anyone else have anything else, or shall we discuss with the other clerics?
Do we still have access to Vendor? We have a place for me to rest. Maybe I should just go and rest while you guys are doing this.
I do have the slight worry of you dying when none of us are around and killing my mother.
It's a reasonable worry.
They could put him in a demi-plane.
You can make the mansion, and no, you can't, can you? You're out of spells, aren't you?
I do now have a 9th level spell slot.
9th levels, man.
Just nothing of 9th level prepared. But I think that we do leave the
It's fine
temple at this point.
Let's
so that we don't need to bother the clerics.
Let's not sweat it. I'll tough through it. Let's just go. Sooner we can get this done, sooner you can get it to where I can rest somewhere.
So, you are headed down to the lower city, to the lower tiers to seek out the clerics that this man recommended to you.
I think I should go talk to my sister while you guys do that.
Okay. Is there anything that you want made more clear to you before speaking to her? Or do you have everything that you need? Information about the zombies wise?
I think I have everything I need.
Cool.
Look at this little gang of adventurers. Alright, so just so I'm clear, because I was looking for information and might have missed it. Jebel cast Greater Restoration on himself and got the magic out of him. Yuki and Raiken are still afflicted.
Yes.
There was the discussion of attempting a 4th level Dispel Magic, which Larmenda had initially said he would prefer to cast a 3rd level first. But I suppose going with a higher... we know that Greater Restoration is a 5th level spell. So could we cast a 5th level just to see if... because while it's still 5th level, it's free monetary, like reagent wise.
I just want to make sure that I'm not just not hearing anything from Leah. She's been quiet a while. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I believe Raiken and Leah both have Dispel Magic that they can do at 5th level.
Right. Does Leah have access to a spell slot available?
Good question. I believe I do.
It's been an hour.
Oh, you gained new one. Oh, yeah, that's true. It's also.
Oh yeah, and I get Yes. So yeah.
Yes, actually, Leah, could you attempt a 5th level dispel magic?
Sure. Yukikaze, I assume, or Jebel.
Jebel's fine. It's either Yuki or your dad.
She's gonna try it on Yuki.
Wow!
Thank you, Leah.
Two dragonborn in front of her, both in problem. We got the spell to cast. Dad, friend. I know. Dad, friend. It's a friend. Fuck you, Dad. All right, you cast 5th level dispel magic. Are your spells still 5th, or are they 6th now?
I don't think they ever go to 6.
They stay at 5th forever?
Yeah, for 6th and up, it's all the Mystic Arcanums.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you cast one of your spell slots, and you cast Dispel Magic. Yuki!
Still feel like shit.
You still feel like shit.
You see Yuki go.
In fact, it goes up another notch.
What?
Oh God.
For both of you.
For both of us.
Yes.
Would you happen to have Remove Curse prepared?
Oh, that wasn't good. That felt bad. Oh God.
It hurt so much.
Leah revolts. I'm sorry.
It's alright, Lee. It's not your fault. It's just
Yeah, we could use some greater restoration soon.
So, Leah, do you have Remove Curse prepared, as Laramendis has asked?
I don't need to prepare things, so yeah. I do have Remove Curse.
Could you attempt that spell?
On which one? On any of them?
Eeny, meeny, miny.
Which one of them looks more hurt to me?
Definitely
Probably
Yukikaze.
Yukikaze again. He's more in need of assistance.
I use Remove Curse on Yukikaze.
Okay. Your hands and your eyes glow purple as you place them against Yukikaze, probably grabbing his arm, and you watch as your magic travels up his arm and across his chest, and you see that for a moment his eyes glow with that same purple light of your magic, and then you see the pink mist, just a little bit of it, remove itself from him. Yukikaze, you feel better.
all the way better.
All the way better. All the way better.
I mean, there's still the resurrection sickness and.
So for roleplay, you guys is gonna look like he's pondering. Guys, I think that did it. I feel a little better.
Really?
Excellent.
I think so. Yeah. I actually feel quite a bit relieved.
Can you cast it again on Raiken?
Yeah, I can cast it 2 more times.
Yes, please.
I'll try it again on Raiken.
Okay. You cast it on Raiken, and again you watch as your purple magic aura passes over his body, and as it passes off of the top of his head, you see this trail of pink again behind it in its wake, and Yukikaze, you are restored. Or Raiken-kaze, you are restored.
Yukikaze, you are still restored, despite everything.
She cast it on Yukikaze a second time. I don't know why she did. Spite, maybe.
And
Just
hey,
staring,
Yukikaze.
not blinking, staring Raiken down.
That means you can go and rest. I'm no longer worried about you turning into a zombie.
That does also mean, information-wise for your sister, that we know that a Remove Curse, at least at 5th level, will work. It is a base 3rd level spell. I do not have it prepared today, which I suppose is an oversight on my part.
Yes, you should have known this would happen.
How could you not know?
And I find it unlikely that we will be able to run into a cleric who has it prepared and also has an available 3rd level spell slot when we go down there, unfortunately. but at least we know that there is a spell that doesn't require a reagent that can affect this.
Does remove curse require a reagent?
No. So it is, like wizards and clerics can cast it. I think clerics can cast it.
Remove curse? I think so. Let me double check.
Paladins can cast it.
Yeah, cleric, paladin, warlock, wizard. Which, with clerics and wizards and paladins all being able to cast it, that opens up the group of people considerably for tomorrow. Which might be too late, unfortunately.
But you also know that it opens up the number of people within the city who can do it.
Yeah.
That they might be relying solely on their clerics, and perhaps they should rely on more people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you cast this, you find out that it works. All 3 of you people who were cursed are now not cursed. And I know that at least most of the party sounds like they wanted to head to the lower tiers to speak with one of these clerics. Vendar has expressed a desire to go talk to his sister. So are you going to split up?
Also, Yuki has the option now to, if he wants, he could do what he suggested and go rest.
You can split up. You're inside the city, and unless a fight breaks out with these guys who are dying and turning into zombies,
I did think that also.
Just think so much XP.
How much XP do I get for the city?
Was this going to be a raccoon city?
I think that it is probably best for us to have separate discussions, given the time. Although, I suppose with the city's authority, discussions with the clerics would be much easier. So that is not unreasonable.
So,
I think that we should all go talk to his sister. I think that the discussion with the clerics will be easier with more authority than a bunch of random adventurers being like, "Hey, we saw this happen. It's gonna happen again. This is gonna suck."
Unless you have this.
So now we're all going to talk to my sister.
That's what it sounds like. One big happy family.
Unless do other people think differently?
No, information probably would be better spread from higher up.
It'll probably mean checking our weapons at the door.
What a travesty.
Is that a problem? Will we need them to go and talk to your sister?
No. I mean, it's just... I know it's a kind of a pain for them to get rid of all their weapons. Just want to let them know that they're not going to be able to take that into the tower.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I read it differently.
They wouldn't, out of character, they wouldn't deprive an old man of his walking stick, would they?
You can make it simpler, just throw it in your bag of holding. They'll probably still want to keep your bag of holding there, but at least all your shit's gonna be in your same spot.
Didn't we do that before already?
Previously, we mostly left our stuff at the lodge. I believe Raiken, was it? Maybe it was Yukikaze had to do that.
You've been disarmed by them before, yes.
Yeah. But only one had to put his shit in a bag of holding and leave his bag of holding at the door. Everybody else left their stuff at the lodge.
Just made things easy.
So Raiken's been through it already. He doesn't care.
Alright, so are you all going to the Sun Tower then?
Yeah, Yukikaze is gonna tough it out and walk with everyone.
Okay. Alright, just making sure. You do not go rest, and you do not go... Oh, did I actually? I had begun building the sun tower. I had forgotten about that. Look at that. I wanted there to be something there, and, I totally, yeah, look at that.
That's magic.
It's got an impressive door. Look.
It looks great. I wonder what's inside.
Let's find out. Oh yeah, nothing. Nothing's inside. Anyway. So you head over to the Sun Tower. Predictably, the guards, stop you, and tell you that if you wish an audience, with the princess that you'll need to disarm, you can very quickly, as you've discussed it, just shove your stuff in your bags of holding and hand over the bags of holding. That just makes it easy. Because they don't allow bags of holding inside either.
Because they're not silly.
Yes.
Yes, they're not dumb.
Alright, so you get the little tags, placed on each one so that you can get them back, but the guards are...
Coat check tags?
Yeah, basically.
Which one's which?
You get your coat check tag, and they let you in. You are led by another guard whom they summon within, who takes you up these winding staircases, up several flights of stairs until you are looking down over the lay of the island of Everwatch. You can see the gathered crowd in the gate plaza from this perspective. As you enter the room where Lilith hosts you, the guard excuses themselves, closes the door, and you are in this room with Lilith, as she is stood by the window looking down upon things. And she turns towards you, her eyes flashing in the light of the afternoon sun, and she finds Vendar in the group, and she says, I have been informed that you protected many soldiers and destroyed all of the zombies.
Yes, for the moment the threat has been neutralized. We are worried that it is not taken care of yet. It seems these zombies are special.
Special?
They, can spread their disease. As you're struck by them, little bits of their magic will stick with you, and eventually it'll overwhelm you, and when you die, you'll become a zombie.
No necromancer's presence is required to raise new zombies.
It doesn't seem to be.
And the ones who are affected, how do we know?
They can feel it.
They will feel considerably weakened, although it might be difficult to just ask someone who was on the brink of death if they feel weaker than they should feel at that point.
Can it be cured?
Yes, with remove curse.
Greater restoration.
Greater restoration as well.
I see. She is going to pull on a cord near the desk which sits by the windows, and you're going to hear a light chiming as if through the wall. And after a moment, the door is going to open and a minister is going to appear. And he dips his head and says, "You summoned my lady?" To which she responds, "Yes, I need a message run down to the lower tiers. All of the healers there need to know that the wounded they're treating may yet be a danger if they have not had a curse removed from them. So any who are capable of removing curse must go and see to wounded soldiers at the Gateway Plaza. And the minister seems to pale a bit, but quickly holds this clipboard they have away from them and writes the note. They say, "I will send runners immediately, my lady." She nods, and the door closes. Do you know how long it takes, how much time we have before some of these people will be a danger within my walls?
As long as they stay alive, they don't seem to be a danger. We're not sure if the curse actually will weaken them to the point of death. We do know that if they die, they will come back.
Jebel.
I think I'd be able to offer some amount of insight on that, wouldn't I?
Sure. Whatever you think.
How long was it before it was?
Before you cast your remove curse?
Remove curse was after. Greater restoration was after Yukikaze was resurrected, was it?
Yes.
Or was it
Yeah,
during?
it was like 2 hours.
It was a little more than 2 hours after the fight. You are now a little more than 3. I'm sorry, you're a little more than 2 hours. So it was a little less than 2 hours after the fight. You are now a little more than 2 hours after the fight.
Wait, it was a little what?
It was when you cast Greater Restoration.
Yeah.
Was slightly less than 2 hours after the fight.
Slightly less than 2 hours. Okay.
When they cast, it was slightly more.
And when I started to feel weaker, it was about an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, it was about an hour after. Was when you felt markedly weaker.
Okay.
You can surmise, if you wish, that this thing does something statistically every hour.
That work out like. You might have 8 hours at least, maybe more, depending on the person.
That will not be enough time for the healers who are currently working down there to regain their spells.
We might need to quarantine the sick.
Unfortunate, but true. We have the dungeons.
How many arcane casters can the city call upon who might be able to remove the curse?
Well, it depends on what the Mages Guild can muster. There are 2 that live within the city and work here, representing the guild. If there are,
one of them is gone.
If there are non-guild mages living within the city, I can put out a call for them, though you might. She kind of lets her gaze linger on you for a moment before she says, understand that a lot of people who are not with the guild do not announce their presence and affinity for magic.
I will say, did we check to see if we could use detect magic to see if someone was cursed?
You haven't tried it.
No, Jebel is asking that.
I have not taken the 10 minutes to cast the ritual. Leah, can you still cast it?
Yeah.
Can you just turn it on?
She can cast it without spending a spell slot.
Yeah.
Which is essentially turning it on. I don't have it prepared, so I would have to do the ritual.
We don't have anybody infected anymore, so...
Hold on, let me be sure that I still have it.
Was it Eldritch Sight?
But yeah, Vendar makes a good point of none of the people here are infected.
It's true.
It is just something... it is something to consider, so that you don't... to try and prevent wasting a spell on someone who doesn't need it. if they're at in short supply.
Well, they weren't in short supply. But then the wound came back from battle, and now they are. Then, am I to understand you plan to head to the plaza and check to see who needs this cast?
I believe that is our next move.
Very well. I will work with my ministers and figure out a place to house the infected until they can be cured.
Hopefully, soon we will be able to track down this necromancer and deal with him. That is where we're headed after we deal with the situation here.
You are not still dealing with the dragons?
We are. We'll probably head there immediately after, but hopefully we can catch this necromancer quickly.
Very well. Then, as the immediate threat is dealt with, and you have given me the necessary information to continue to protect my city from any ongoing threat that it may have presented, I hold your bond fulfilled, Bendar.
Thank you, sister.
You see her lip very slowly curls to a smile. Says, "You have my gratitude, brother, and that of the city."
As for Viserys, I believe I've helped everything I can, in every way I can. I'll give her the materials. If he needs any more, if the doctor needs any more, to make more, to help Viserys wean off of this substance, I'm sure the Crown will have no issue procuring these materials.
Please remind me, had you and Jebel had a chance to work on this?
Yeah, hadn't we?
I can't remember.
Or maybe we haven't made it, but
I think you haven't made it yet, but you know that you can do it.
Yeah, I remember you having ideas about what you could do with the stuff, and you had enough materials to basically test and get it to what you need.
Okay, so yeah, adjust what I said to
Yeah, you haven't passed on. You've told the doctor how you believe this can be used, and he has said that he doesn't have the skill to do this, but you feel like you do.
All right. So I'll adjust what I said too. So we will. We have everything we need to make it. So me and Jebel will hopefully be able to make this antidote for him soon, and hopefully he won't need any more. But if he does, I can teach the doctor how to make it, and I'm sure the Crown could procure more of the rare ingredients.
She nods at this and continues to hold her slight smile. She seems a little concerned for a moment. You see this shadow pass across her eyes, and she meets your eyes once more and says, "Just don't spread yourself too thin, Bendar. A lot of people are counting on you."
I'll do my best. There's a lot to get done.
She's going to actually move away from the windows toward the group. And she's going to reach out her hand toward you, Vendar. Low, as if, to tell you she wishes for your hand.
I'll take your hand.
And she's going to grasp your hand in both of hers, stepping in closer. She says, "See to Vicaris. If the necromancer escapes, then that is life. They always have a habit of outing themselves.
I will not leave the city until I'm sure Vicaris is on the road to recovery.
At that, she actually kind of smiles, and you see that her eyes water with tears. She releases your hand, letting it fall away, and you see her kind of considering her own hands for a moment, before kind of extending both of them toward you, like a bit surreptitiously, as of somebody requesting a hug.
I will hug her.
And she's going to wrap her arms tightly around your waist and press the side of her head against your chest. She's going to say, "It's good to have you back, big brother."
Glad to be back.
I was worried that I'd never see you again.
I'll always come back.
We're in such a dark place. I thought that I had lost you.
For a long time I had lost myself. But I think I'm getting better.
I think you are. And she's going to release you and reach up to place a hand against your cheek. And at that moment, Lord Squeakers is going to like leap onto her arm and run down, and she's going to like cry out this little squeak, ah! as the animal appears to attack her. It like disappears as it runs onto her shoulder beneath her hair. She's like, "What is it? What is it? Get it off!"
Oh, it's okay. It's the Sword Squeakers. He's my best friend.
She's just like frozen still, like as this creature is on her. Just, it tickles! And you can just sort of hear Lord Squeakers a second, and he goes, "I like her now. She sucks less."
Yeah, she's nice. Oh, come on, you're scaring her.
But her hair is warm and smells floral.
He really likes her hair. But seriously, we gotta go. Come on.
What if I just stay here a little while? You can come back for me.
Nah, you don't want to miss the action. Come on.
Okay. And she's going, It's just, like, you sort of see him, like, his little head pops out from, like, between some of the locks of her hair. And little beady black eyes looking up at you. And then he scampers, leaping off of her back onto your chest and climbing onto your shoulder.
Give him a little scratch on the chin. He's sweet.
So, she's gonna, just take another step back and sort of, like, hug herself a moment and then brush off her shoulders and pull on the strands of her hair. She's a rodent. Seen my hair, Vendar?
It's a ferret. It's also not actually a ferret. It's a magical gift from Cyanide.
She's going to just...
So I'm not entirely sure what it is.
She's going to bring her hands together in front of her face, just against, thumbs under her chin, fingertips against the end of her nose. She goes, I don't want it on me. Don't like rodents.
I apologize. Squeakers, don't go on her again. I know you like her hair and she's nice and warm, but...
What?
She doesn't like it. He likes the smell of your hair.
I need to go bathe. You! Entrance plaza, gate plaza, go! Kill my soldiers!
I'm really sorry about squeakers. One thing, real quick, first is that the fight was it was a really hard fight, and 2 of our members actually perished in the fight. We managed to res 1, but with our resources dwindled, we had to enlist the services of the Temple of Pelor to raise our friend Yukikaze here, and we were hoping that the crown might reimburse us for the costs.
She's, like, still looking exasperated by this incident with the ferret, but she seems to be, like, kind of following along, waiting for you to come to the point, and when you finally do, there's just, like, this shocked look in her eyes, like, that's what this was about. She's like, no! Your services to the crown are greatly appreciated, and you have saved the city. But if we buy your resurrection, then we have to buy resurrections for all those soldiers down there. You would bankrupt the city.
We won't tell anyone.
It's the principle of the thing. You've been gallivanting about, doing whatever it is you've done, and you tell me that your gang of mercenaries hasn't the money to pay for such things?
Yeah, we will survive. We generally do things without expecting payment, because we're not really mercenaries. We just try to help people, but...
You're not very good mercenaries, that's for certain.
I said, we're not really mercenaries.
I appreciate that you've brought their request to me, but I am afraid that I cannot reciprocate it. Because even if you don't tell anybody, she says, like, mimicking Raiken's whisper, they'll find out. The finances of the city are a matter of public record. So somebody will eventually see bought mercenary resurrection at the same time as a lot of soldiers were allowed to die, and they're going to start asking questions.
Well, okay then.
Bendar, I love you. I want you to understand that. I love you, big brother. But your friend that you resurrected has fallen asleep on my floor. I need you to remove him.
Raiken will lift Yukikaze up.
I will let that happen.
Please let
Oh, was that? I thought I heard a snore just now.
No, I absolutely did not.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that's
No,
what I heard.
but honestly, I will allow this.
Okay.
Please,
he was pretty tired.
Please let it be a strength test.
As a strength check, he is bigger than Raiken.
Not by that much. Alright, hold on. I gotta get my dice out.
Oh no. How dare I make the players of a D&D game get their dice out?
I wasn't expecting to roll.
Everybody's immediately got, oh, we finished the big combat. It's back to roleplay games now. We don't need dice, guys.
Huzzah! Oh, the day might be Raiken's.
What you got?
I have a 25.
Yeah, you absolutely are able to hoist him up on your shoulders, fireman's carry.
It's a good thing he wasn't a table.
The table was bolted down.
Just hear that Nalia voice in your head going, it really wasn't.
You want a potato?
Potatoes?
What was potatoes? Wasn't it that she gave out to us that were
Oh,
experimental?
yeah. The
No,
cure.
it's
The cure was
ice-
raw
the-
potatoes.
Yeah, the cure was the potatoes. The thing that actually did poisonous was ice cream.
Oh, that's right.
Ice cream
Okay.
and cookies. Oh, man. That was a fun part of the campaign. You guys were like level 5.
That was 9.
Leah learned a
That
valid
was
lesson
9?
not to
Shit.
take.
That was 9 because Larman
Yeah.
started at 9.
I
Wow.
started at 7, 8, which was just before we got there.
Okay, well, you're a higher level than I realized, but still babbies. 9's not babies, though. Anyway. Your audience with Lilith Draknir concludes as she goes to have a bath run. The rest of you, who are not Vendar, do see as you turn to go out of the door, back out into the atrium of the Sun Tower, that Lord Squeakers II is sort of like standing on his shoulder, like holding onto his ear, and waving in a very human gesture back at the princess.
What's up with Squeakers?
Like he likes her.
She smells nice.
You scared her.
I mean,
She's not a fan of rodents.
well, if she spends
She's
more
like your
time with
stepdaughter.
me, then she'll get used to rodents, and then she won't hate me.
Yeah, too bad there's no time for that.
But there could be time for that.
Yeah, maybe in the future.
So, you are
I
heading
was like
down...
to argue that there's could have just been payment for us defending the city. We are supposed to be mercenaries, or at least everybody thinks we are.
Well, yes. There is one problem, however, with your logic, and that was that you were summoned to do this by your sister as a way of repaying your own debt.
Yeah, I think that was the payment.
I guess that makes sense.
So, her calling you brother, which you know
Hey.
means that she is ending your exile, that's your payment.
Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. Anyway, we might need to start charging for things in the future. We're not broke yet, but if we keep needing to shell out 100 plat to res people,
Like heroes for hire.
yeah, and there's got to be some jobs we can do that could pay us some good money.
It has
Or,
been a
hell,
while.
Find me a good target, and I can just steal some.
It has been a while since we've had to fight any bandits and then take whatever they've taken from people.
We now have
Yeah, we
two
haven't had a
people
good loot
capable
in a
of casting Wish, which means we don't have a money problem anymore.
I don't know how Wish works. How does Wish work?
It does whatever we want it to do.
How much money can I get from Wish right now, or whenever you can cast it?
So,
Isn't Wish like dangerous to use or something?
If you use it...
but if you have two,
That was in
people-
character. That was in character.
So if you have two people, you can, over the course of 2 days, for creating simulacra, and then have the simulacra wish you money. Wish can be. I think that it's probably is the monetary value that Wish is able to like create listed on the spell sheet something that I would know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, especially now that you are able to cast it yourself, you know all the ins and outs of the spells, the ins and outs of the spell. So all the things that you can do for free, all the things that you can do for the recoil.
Yeah, like the recommended.
Yeah. Exactly.
Recoil. That was the word I was looking for.
And that you also know that casting outside of those listed things will have unknown effects, generally proportional to the power of the wish.
Yeah. An object worth up to 25,000 gold. So, a diamond worth 25,000 gold in a single cast of it, which would use, honestly, just one wish between Cyrus and myself to create a simulacra of the other one, who would then cast wish to do that. So we don't really have a money problem.
Okay. I want to ask this question then. Why the fuck did you care about getting reimbursed? Why did you guys even have me ask my sister when we have enough money now and we can make infinite more now?
So it's still resources that we then need to... You can't just trade a diamond worth, like a diamond of that size for bread.
Seems also, I hadn't thought of it. For me to ask. I feel embarrassed for having asked that. And I'm annoyed that it wasn't even necessary. So let's go.
How dare you embarrass Vendar in front of me?
I do think that we should try as little as possible to completely disrupt economies. And using Wish in that way does that. So it is best to not create infinite money.
So you can only make one thing, and you can only make it up to so much.
Yeah, so I suppose it could be something worth less.
Could you make like
gold?
What could you make like 10 a brick of 10 platinum ingots worth of platinum?
I feel like using it to create actual currency is probably not the best thing to do.
Why not?
From a legal perspective.
What do you mean? What the fuck is counterfeiting?
But it's real platinum. How the fuck are they gonna know where we got it from?
I imagine so. Any platinum bar that we've had has been stamped by whatever country's mint has produced it. I think all of ours were from Bromdor, but if we just create,
definitely had
a platinum ingot, then it's entirely possible. If we just create a platinum ingot, it's not going to have been stamped by that mint, which then at least opens up more questions and probably a larger...
people gotta get platinum from somewhere. We could just create a bunch of raw platinum and say that we got it from a mine.
I don't look like a miner.
What do they give a shit about it?
If they think we stole it, they're going to investigate.
A bunch of raw fucking platinum?
Platinum is worth a lot.
And you say we don't have a money problem, and then you give all these reasons of why we do, in fact, still have a money problem.
If it becomes a problem, we can do things about it. But I still think that we should not try and... We do need to be cautious about it.
Are we, headed down to the thing?
I just imagine that this discussion is happening as you're heading down to the gate plaza.
Good. It should be like that. Too many times that we end up talking, we're just standing around not doing what we're supposed to do.
I was enjoying this argument. It was funny.
The guard that's leading us is just like, what the fuck?
Fucking rich people.
Just arguing about the legality of just poofing money into existence.
Well, I'm being carried by Raiken.
I guess so. You can wake up at any time during the walk if you wish.
Or
you can pretend to be asleep so that you get a free ride.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
I don't think the fireman carry is very like comfortable.
The principle of the matter.
So yeah, just let me know if you want to jump in at any moment there, Mal.
No, I'm asleep.
Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so you guys discuss the pros and cons of destroying world economies on your way down to the gate plaza.
Local economies?
The local economy of the capital of a world superpower.
If 2,500 is too much, then we could just make one that's worth like 500 plat, or 500 gold.
I mean, I want to be very clear that I have no stake in this. You guys are determining what is morally right or wrong here. You can do whatever you want. He says you can make 25,000 money. I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. I'm just going to tell you what happens. So, like...
Oh, you know, like, I mean, I think that whole really argument is reasonable to have in character.
Yeah, we don't really need the whole 2,500. I mean, we could just make we could make one forever, however much we needed at the time.
Right. So, I mean, we could very soon create a diamond worth 1,000 gold, and then sell it, or maybe a bit more, and sell it, and then have back the money that we paid. Like that. That is not necessarily going to be breaking the economy, and it just needs to be planned for us to be able to do this. It is extremely resource intensive and a little time. Well, actually, it honestly takes two rounds to do. It's not time intensive, and it's not actually really that resource intensive in that it uses a single 9th level spell. But
so, on days where we're like about to have a long rest, we're about to go to sleep, and you still have a 9th level spell slot, cast Wish. Make it jump. Throw it in a bag of holding.
It's not just the casting. It's casting Wish on both. Cyrus and myself would need our 9th level spell slots unspent.
Is there recoil for the creating money?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's what you haven't explained.
It's create a simulacrum and have the simulacrum lose the ability to cast Wish.
So on days when that happens, which should be frequent enough when we've done a day of traveling and we haven't had combat, you can do that. You don't need to do that often.
Make money.
We can do that.
You're just make money.
We just make money. Whenever we need money, we can just make money.
Make money. It's so easy.
That makes it much more easier than just having to actually find someone who will pay us to do a service.
Why not just make money?
I mean, if we can just make money, then why not just make money?
Yes, Sam. Why not just make money?
We're busy helping people and saving the world. We don't have time to make money.
I feel like there's a reason why
the
university probably doesn't do this. Because, again, destroying the economy. They have enough people capable of 9th level spells that they could do this.
I can't imagine that the Mages Guild or the university would have any problem with you doing this. Ridiculous.
I mean, their problem is that it's not them that's doing it, but...
If they have a problem with it, it's just because they didn't think of it before us.
No, I'm sure they thought of it, and any issues would be somebody else doing it.
Well, nobody has to fucking know. How are they gonna know where we got that diamond? We're powerful adventurers. We could have gotten that diamond from all sorts of places.
So as this guard is just sinking deeper and deeper into the depression of these fuckers can just make money, you get to the gate plaza, and you can see that it is a form of bedlam that is not zombies running around killing people at this time. So there's just a lot of wounded, a lot of traumatized people, and a lot of clerics spread very thin. And you do, Vendar, with your high perception, at one point catch a glimpse of two of the same cleric. You see this woman helping a person over here, and then you see her also, like, on the other side of the plaza, like, stand up and walk over to another person. Like, you swear it's the same woman.
I guess they're twins.
Deja vu.
Deja vu. Alright.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Isn't Cyrus supposed to be here? Where is he?
Yeah, Cyrus, you don't see him, after spending several seconds looking around for him.
He went back after us and got lost, did he?
I don't think he got lost on his way to the upper tier.
The world may
just go up.
Just go
We would have
up.
passed him. We would have seen him if he was flying, right?
You feel like all of those are true. You don't feel like you've seen him, though, and you don't see him here. So, you are able to ask around after Taram Lanier, or go Issa Faril.
I think I would probably go towards the Ione cleric.
No way. Who would have guessed? So you do.
What is Sephiroth?
Cord. No, right. The other one was Cord.
The other one was Cord. I can't stop you from splitting up.
Rule number 1 of D&D.
Split the party immediately? Yes.
Hey, we split the party plenty, and it hasn't always fucked us.
I mean, at least in this case, you're just splitting up to different portions of the same market square, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, something very similar has gone wrong before, but...
What? Look, at most, there's a few hundred feet between you guys.
That it hasn't always fucked us, not that it never fucked us.
So, Laramentis goes in search of Taram Lanier, asking around after him, gets pointed toward him. Raiken, are you going to go looking for Issa?
Sure.
Okay. So Raiken and Yukikaze go looking for Issa Farel.
I'm just carrying him with me.
And when you find the tiefling, Raiken, she looks at the man slung across your shoulders and says, "Does he need help too?"
No, he's just sleeping.
Oh. So, you're not bit?
I was, but,
Do you need healing? You both look quite injured.
We just need rest. We have been cured. He actually died for a bit, but he got brought back.
Okay.
He got better.
Well, I'm running low on spells, so I have others I can treat then.
If it is important to use if you have remove curse, as the people who have been bit may be experiencing weakness, and that weakness, if they end up dying, can bring them back to life as zombies.
There is a curse related to zombie bites that can make more zombies.
Yes.
Well, that explains some of the crazier tales I heard today. I do have a couple of my thirds left. But there's so many injuries.
Yes. I don't know if there's a way for you to disperse this information among the other healers.
As you're speaking to her, a person wearing the colors of Pelor, which are the same as the colors of the city, kind of walks up and unfurls a scroll and says, Issa Faril. She says, yes, that's me. Says, I have word from the princess that you should be focusing not on healing, but on removing curses.
Aha, there you go.
And as you look around, you can see that there are other such people dressed this way, talking to other clerics.
I'm with Raiken, by the way. I didn't specify, but
okay, that's great.
I tend to stick with him, so I'm there.
Yeah. Did you want to be using detect magic to see if you can see cursed people?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
I can just keep reactivating it.
Yeah. There's so much magic going on here. Nobody's worrying about it.
Yeah, because of it being so much magic, though, I guess it's like the US Eve. They are seeing a lot of colors.
You are seeing a lot of colors. Mostly, you're seeing evocation school magic around you. Do you remember when you went to Raiken? The town with the beholder?
Yeah.
Do you remember how you used detect magic there, and you could see the magical haze and the fog behind people's eyes?
Yes.
So you feel this chill down your spine as you're seeing this, not the same effect, but similarly, there are people who have bound wounds sitting about this, sitting or laying about this gate square here, who have very clearly, you see the magic, this necromantic school magic, on their skin, looking like crags and splits and cracks and seams.
Yes. Leah's just gonna look around nervously, and then she kind of like tries to get attention of the cleric, like the girl, I forgot, Issa.
Yes, Issa. So the minister moves on to another cleric with their scroll, and Raiken's like, "See, I told you." and Issa's nodding, saying, "All right then. I will inform anybody else I see." And she kind of notices you, kind of waving your hand to get her attention. And she looks down at you and says, I'm sorry, yes? You're with him?
I can tell which one is affected, I think.
Is there any visual effect when you use Eldritch Sight that other people can see?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay.
Not unless there's like a visual effect of
I thought
spell.
that it changed your eyes or something.
I think that might have been just something that VE talked about. Being just a general trait. But let me check.
Okay.
No, it just, you can cast detect magic at will. That's all it says.
Okay. Yeah, she's going to kind of bend down a little so that she's on level with you, eye to eye, and says, "You know who's cursed?"
I've seen something similar before. It's kind of like a cloud. It's hard to explain.
If you can point out who's cursed, then we can conserve our spells. I was just going to have us cast it on everyone who had a wound.
I can cast it. I can cast remove curse as well. 4 times an hour, if I take a rest.
Are you offering your services?
I can help.
She smiles. You can see the fangs behind her lips. She says, "Yeah, I can use you. Okay." She's going to look up at Raiken and says, "Is she with you? Can I borrow her?"
Well, yes, she's my daughter.
She, like, looks between the two of you a couple times and goes, okay, can I borrow her?
Yes, if she is willing, yeah, she can help you out.
Great. What's your name?
Leah.
I'm Isa. It's nice to meet you. Now,
Likewise.
which of these men is cursed?
Leah's gonna start pointing them out.
Alright, and she's going to start casting Remove Curse until she runs out of spell slots, and then she's gonna find more clerics. She's basically just gonna be leading you by the hand to each group of clerics and asking you to point out, and she's gonna explain to them about the Remove Curse thing. And so you're going to spend some time doing that.
Yeah. Leah will help removing curse when she can.
Yeah. It's about a 20-minute walk to get down here, but you'd spend a good deal of time just talking with Lilith. So I'm going to say that you've had the equivalent of a short rest, so you do have 4 slots to spend. Laramendus, you wanted to go find Taram.
Yes.
You are brought eventually to him after a couple clerics are like, yeah, I think I saw him around here. His short stature makes it easy for him to get lost in this crowd, but they do eventually bring you before this deeply tanned-skinned dwarf who looks up at you and sees immediately his eye catches on Ash. He says, scholar. What can I do for you?
Is this the same dwarf that I had spoken with before, or is this a different guy?
No, it's the same guy.
Okay. I do not know if you've received word from the tower about this there being a curse that some of the people who have been wounded by the zombies are under. But remove curse will work on it.
And if we don't remove the curse?
Then they will progressively get worse until they pass away and come back as zombies to infect others.
Terrible. Okay. So anyone with a wound is cursed?
Not necessarily. I am unsure at the moment of a good way to determine if somebody is cursed. Since we know that a wizard did it, it's possible Detect Magic might work. I don't have it prepared, but I can take the 10 minutes to cast it to see if that gives me anything.
You're gonna look around, the wounded around him, and nod. At this time, you can also see the ministers of the crown moving through and reading off their scroll, explaining what you just explained, so you know that word is spreading. He nods.
Do I see Leah, leading around a group of people, essentially? I know that she can cast it.
Because these were happening concurrently, it's he nods to you and says, yeah, go for it, I'll wait. And you begin casting your ritual, and it's around midway through the ritual that you kind of become aware in your peripheral of a small contingent of clerics being led by little blonde Leah, as she just points at people and they go and cast.
Excellent. That makes Laramendus much more confident in his casting.
So you finish out the ritual, and you are immediately aware of all of the evocation going on around you. But you can look down at the soldiers at your feet and around you, and you can see that some of them, not all of them, have this stony, craggy look to their skin that glows with necromantic light to your detect magic.
Unpleasant. I will also begin pointing people out.
Excellent. This will save us a lot of spell slots, then.
Should we need this to continue tomorrow, I will be able to prepare Remove Curse and assist in doing things, but
a lot of power has already been spent here healing, and unfortunately, I have seen a couple places where that good has been undone by this deteriorating condition. At least now there's an explanation for it. I have an idea.
Yes?
I need to check something. Boo, 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 boo. Yeah. he kind of he seems to like think for a moment. He goes, "Yeah, I can spare it. All right. If it's just remove curse, then those bastards at the guild can help out with this. Leaving us to spend all the resources helping people. I think it's about time they pony up." And he's going to witness him cast Sending.
Hopefully, the guy had remove curse prepared. I feel like a wizard or cleric who remains in a city, it's a reasonable one for them to usually have, because it seems like a good reason for people to seek out their services, so one that you have the best likelihood of being able to charge for any day.
He finishes casting, and he, you see him kind of like counting on his fingers. And then he kind of like grins up at you and says, "Ethian owed me a favor."
Wonderful.
So hopefully, in the hour, we should be seeing a bit of help on this end. Thank you for the information, and if you could keep pointing out bodies, I think that, until they get here, we should still be, trying to keep up with the sluice.
I imagine while the two of us are having this conversation, it's also like us walking and me like pointing people out.
Yes.
Cool. So I will be able to continue this as long as I can continue casting the spell. So I guess 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off.
Yes. So Leah, you go around and you point out the people. Laramentus, you are doing the same. Leah, you are removing curse 4 times, and then during your hour rest, you're just pointing out people with your ongoing spell.
Does casting detect magic that way, though, interrupt a short rest?
It says it has to be 10 minutes of activity in order to interrupt a short rest, so as long as he's not spending 10 minutes
cool.
in the casting process, I think it's reasonable that you can cast spells during a short rest.
Yeah.
Just not be in combat.
Right. You know, I think that I know that in 4th edition, at least, it said it had to be 10 minutes of continuous activity, and so as long as combat lasted less than 10 minutes, you could still do it. But short rests were also only 5 minutes back then, so I don't know. I'm thinking of long rests for them, but I think that as long as it's light activity, and I feel like casting this spell, which lasts 10 minutes on a 6-second cast, is fine.
Yeah, I think that seems entirely reasonable. It'll be exhausting at the end of the day, but like...
Yeah. It'd be exhausting at the end of the day, but, you know, just doing it for an hour here. It is during this hour that you do hear a bit of commotion, and you see the crowd that had kind of gathered and is watching from the outskirts of the Gateway Square, the Gate Plaza, as this healing is going on, as these soldiers are bleeding and crying out. You know, it's of course a spectacle. You're going to see this crowd of onlookers part, and there's going to be a glimmering, glinting glow that travels down the middle of this parting group, and as the front row of it parts and you get a good glimpse, you see that it is persons clad in the robes of the Arcane University.
Laramentus smiles very, very broadly.
And
teleport.
This was essentially what he had been hoping for, that we could pull in people from farther away in the guild or the university. So
yeah, so you
I'm
do
glad
see
for that favor.
about 30 of these people enter the gate plaza, and immediately one of them, moves to the head and begins issuing orders about who's going to be removing curse and who's going to be detecting magic, and pointing them to different zones. Like, immediately, like, sectoring the place up and getting it running like clockwork. And as you see this happening, as you're continuing to work with Taram's gonna look over and see, says, well, I think perhaps now I owe Ethian a favor. Shit.
I suppose this is as good a reason as any for that to be the case.
Too right. So within a couple hours, including the time before these guys got here, so after they get here, everything moves very quickly. They're reporting, and you're seeing no more cursed soldiers.
Woohoo!
And I think that's a perfect place to end.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yuki, are you still just making Raiken carry you around?
He's actually falling asleep at this point.
They haven't woken me up yet.
Okay.
Because Yukikaze was he died. It's exhausted.
Okay, just making sure that that you're where you want to be.
It's exhausting to be dead.
He's already started on his long rest.
Yeah, it literally, if they woke me up, I wouldn't have fought and I would have woke up.
Yeah.
But since they didn't do it, I'm just gonna say I'm still asleep.
Yeah, you're just sort of carrying him around on your shoulders, and he's just zonked out.
Drooling a little bit on my shoulder.
Leah and Laramendes, your respective clerics are going to be nodding to you, smiling with a great amount of gratitude, and each of them, in fact, is going to open a purse and say, I think you've earned this, and they're going to hand you an ingot of platinum.
Hmm.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Sort of help.
That is very kind.
Make up for that we spent.
Thank you.
Well,
And now we don't need to disrupt local economies. That's out of character.
the Isa's going to lean down and say, well, it was this, or have the undead plague spread through the entire city. So, I'd say that you've more than earned it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to help when I can.
She is going to straighten up and extend a hand towards you in a gesture of thanks for shaking. Extending her hand to be shaken.
Yeah, I'll do so.
So, sorry.
Go for it.
No, since I've been asleep, I just wanted to. It's up for the end and such.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah. Tarm's gonna hand it over. I'm gonna say, for the knowledge you've been donating to the temple too.
I would like to try and find some time, probably tomorrow at the earliest, though, to sit down and talk about how these creatures behaved and all of that in the detail that things should be recorded in.
I think that would be incredibly useful to us in the coming days. And he kind of gets a little leans over to you, whispering at your elbow, and says, "And we can sell the information to those Raven Queeners."
I'm sure they would love to get their hands on it.
And, yeah, I think with that, I'll call a pause.
And scene.
Everybody can take 1,300 experience for roleplay. Good job.
Woohoo!
No, what I was gonna say, Vendar's lucky I wasn't awake. Because I would have bitched him out for his comments. Because, you know, the Yukikaze from Toralos was big with trading. So, you know, I would have been emphasizing the importance of the value of things. So I was like, all right,
cheap bastards.
Someone wake me up so I can bitch Vendar.
The things that you're producing are valuable.
Yeah.
No, but it destroys the value of other things. Yeah, I had a discussion, but I don't think they're with it.
I disagree. I think you make a fancy gem. I could sell that gem to a rich guy for more than it's worth. And I think he'd be happy with the deal. I don't think it'd destroy the economy.
But when you make something out of nothing, you take away the work and the other steps that put the value to that item.
The
value of the item is
the value is
a fancy fucking diamond.
The effort is still there. Like the amount of time and resources and effort to be able to cast 9th level spells.
Yeah, so you think it's
is
easy
enormous.
to cast Wish?
Is it?
You have to be at least 17th level in order to cast a 9th level spell.
There's probably like 50 wizards
in the world
who can do this.
Like
we
you
just
guys
happen to have 2 of them.
We have 2 of the people capable of doing it.
Yeah. So just so that everybody understands, like as 17th level adventurers, you are now like in like the top 1% of all people who have class levels in the world. All you got left is 17, 18, 19, 20.
I still have to figure out what I'm supposed to do at my 20.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Offline.
I just keep forgetting.
Yeah, I need to get a hold of you. Alright, so I'm gonna say bye stream.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.